So in our last video, we looked at the evaluation of the if statement and how to build a condition that will be evaluated to true using relational and conditional operators. So I also want to talk to you about the if-else statement. We noted in the last video that the if statement is used to write a true condition so that something will happen if that condition evaluates to true. So let's look at the else statement, which is written like this. It is a separate block that goes after the if statement. It does not have a condition. So the if condition, if evaluates to true, this block of code evaluates. If this condition evaluates to false, the else block evaluates. So in this case, a number equals 10, and if the number is 10, this section of the code will execute, and if it's not 10, this code will execute. So this allows us to have two paths to take inside of our code when evaluating conditions. So we can do something specifically based on the results of this evaluation, or we can do something else. So an else statement can be put onto any if block, but you've seen that you can write if statements without an else, but you can't write an else by itself because there's no condition that attaches just to the else statement. I also want to point out some of the syntax here, where most of our lines always end with semicolons. There's no semicolon here behind the conditional block, and there's no semicolon here outside or after this else statement. Now, if I had other code inside of here, then those lines will always end in semicolon just as they have. So any of our if statements, when we're looking to write conditions, we have to think about the logic. So in this case, where we're using negated logic or not logic, a number not equal to 10, then this code will execute. But if we attach an else block to this if statement, then if this is true, a number not equal to 10, it's the opposite of this if-else statement up here. So if a number is not 10, this code will execute, whereas this code only executes if a number is 10. So we have to think about the logic and we have to evaluate it to make sure that we are saying what we intend to say, that the program flow executes the way that we intend based on the logical results of our conditions. So as you start to write your programs and evaluate C# code, keep an eye out for if and if-else blocks so that you can start to become familiar with the idea of logical conditions and program flow.